Ever wonder why chopping onions turns you into a teary mess like you're in the finale of some sad romance movie you didn't even care to watch? You're standing in your kitchen with a knife, trying to be a functional adult, and suddenly it's like your eyes decided to host a dramatic breakdown, all because of a vegetable? Yeah, same. Welcome to Think Bits, where we explain stuff you didn't know you needed answers to, and probably still don't. But here you are anyway. So let's talk onions. Those sneaky little layers of sadness sitting in your kitchen right now, pretending to be harmless. But spoiler alert, they're not. They're emotional assassins with a surprisingly decent aim. Let's get something straight. Onions don't want to make you cry. They're not evil. They're just built that way, you see. Onions evolved to defend themselves. Because, well, if you were stuck underground your whole life, just to end up in someone's stew, you'd probably want some defenses too. So when you slice into an onion, you're not just cutting it. You're unleashing a full-blown chemical counterattack. It's like you broke into its house and it responded with tear gas. Fair, honestly. So what's actually going on in there? All right, here comes the science bit. But don't worry, we're keeping it digestible. Inside the onion are these little compartments. One holds enzymes. The other holds sulfur-containing compounds. Think of it like a toxic separation agreement. Everything's peaceful. Until you come along with your kitchen knife and go all Edward Scissorhands. When those compartments are ruptured, the enzymes and sulfur compounds mix together like two coworkers who should have never dated. A result, a chemical called syn-Propanethial-S-oxide. Sounds like a name a villain would have in a bad sci-fi movie. Just call it onion gas because honestly, that's what it is. Invisible, evil, and airborne. This little chemical rises into the air and makes a beeline for your eyeballs. Once it gets there, your eyes are like, hey, what is this nonsense? It irritates the nerve endings in your eyes, which causes them to freak out and send a message to your brain. The brain, being the genius it is, tells your tear glands to start working overtime to flush the irritant out. Now you're standing there looking like you just watched a dog die in a movie when really, you were just trying to dice an onion for Taco Tuesday. And here's the kicker. The very thing that makes you cry is also responsible for onions having flavor. Those sulfur compounds that wage war on your tear ducts, they're also the reason your burger doesn't taste like sadness. They give onions their signature punch. That slightly sweet, slightly spicy kick that makes them the Beyoncé of vegetables. So yeah, you suffer for the flavor. It's like love, but with more eye pain and less emotional growth. Now people have tried everything to avoid the great onion breakdown. You've probably heard all the tricks. It's chewing gum while chopping, lighting a candle nearby, cutting under running water, wearing goggles like you're about to go snorkeling in your sink. Honestly, some of these tricks work a little, but none of them are foolproof. The goggles might save your eyes, but cost you your dignity. Chewing gum distracts you just long enough to forget that you're crying over soup ingredients. And cutting the onion underwater works, but is also the fastest way to lose a finger. So yeah, pick your poison. Want to know the method that actually does something real? Chill the onion before cutting? That slows down the chemical reaction and reduces the release of the gas? It's not magic. You'll still get a whiff of emotional destruction, but at least it won't feel like your eyeballs are melting. Oh, and use a super sharp knife. Clean cut means less damage to the cells, which means less gas. You know what that means? Fewer tears, more chopping, less drama.
Also,
not all onions are equal in this chemical warfare. Yellow onions and white onions are basically the troublemakers. They're loaded with sulfur compounds and show no mercy. Red onions are a bit nicer. Sweet onions, like Vidalia, practically polite, and green onions, they're barely in the game. So if you're tired of sobbing like you're in a soap opera, maybe stick to the chill ones. Or just go full 2025 and get the pre-chopped ones from the store. It's no shame. Those onions have already cried enough for everyone. And just to throw in some extra brain candy. Did you know onions have been around for over 5,000 years? Ancient Egyptians used them in religious ceremonies. They thought the concentric circles symbolized eternal life, which is hilarious considering how fast they die in a frying pan. Also, during the Middle Ages, onions were so valuable, they were used as currency. Like, hey, I'll give you 3 onions for that goat. That's how much people respected the mighty tear bomb back then. And we just chuck them in chili and complain. So next time you're crying in the kitchen and questioning your life choices, remember, you're not overly sensitive. You're not being dramatic. You're just getting chemically assaulted by a root vegetable. It's not a character flaw. It's science. And if your eyes are leaking like a broken faucet while you're making dinner, take comfort in knowing it happens to literally everyone. Gordon Ramsay probably cries. Your grandma? Up. That influencer chef who makes everything look perfect on Instagram? Absolutely bawling between takes? At the end of the day, onions are a gift and a curse. They spice up your food and ruin your eyeliner. They add depth to your dishes and trauma to your retinas. But we still love them because, let's be honest, without onions, your food would taste like disappointment and broken dreams. So wear your onion tears like a badge of honor. You earned them, survived the slice, you faced the sulfur. You cooked with feeling. Literally. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Think Bits, where we take everyday questions and turn them into mildly educational rants. If you learned something new today, or just feel slightly better about your last emotional breakdown over fajitas, hit that like button, or don't. We're not your mom. Just remember, next time someone asks why onions make you cry, you can hit them with the truth. Because onions are biochemical drama queens, and your eyeballs weren't ready. Thanks for watching Think Bits. Stay curious. Stay dried, or at least keep the tissues close.